welcome back to Mr. Grant's weekly updates. Holy moly, donut shop! We are like 2 weeks back from our last episode. Really great to see everybody again. This is the weekly update for Monday, February 24th, all the way through to and including Friday, February 28th. Hello again, my name is Mr. Grant. I teach at W.H. Croxford. I teach a number of things this semester. I'm teaching the Music Academy. I am teaching grade 9 concert band and music, as well as general music 10, 20, and 30. Woohoo, run-cha-chun! All right, ladies and gentlemen, parents, guardians, students, let's begin. So, first up on the docket, we have a couple of things going on with grade 10s and 20 Academy. The first thing that I would like to mention is that this Monday will be your last day to work on your ELA and music artifact and speech. Because on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of this week, all morning on those 3 days, we are going to have an Academy showcase, which will be showcasing all of our academies here at W.H. Croxford and getting to take a look and a listen to what students have been working on over the past 6 weeks in all the academies, which is really, really awesome. As well, we are going to be heading into week 4 of theory. So if you're doing level 1 theory, you are going to be taking a look at rhythm and counting in time signatures, as well as rest values. If you're doing level 2 music theory, you're going to be taking a look at key signatures using flat keys. So last week you were taking a look at sharp keys. This week it'll be flat keys. As well, Academy students, if you take a look on Power School now, you will find marks for week 2's music theory. Please make sure you are checking that. All right. At the end of this week, in Academy students, we are going to be taking a look at solidifying your new music and starting to write your actual original pieces, especially if you are in grade 11 in the 20 Academy. We are also going to be taking a look at developing a schedule for recording because in this second semester, starting at the beginning of March, Academy students are going to be working on their independent project, which is going to deal with using our recording spaces, using the microphones, and really starting to mix and master their own music to brand and market their own EP albums by the end of this year, which is really awesome. But in order to do that, we need to make sure that we have a schedule solidified in terms of who's going to go, when, and where. Lastly, Academy students and parents and guardians, your students, your musicians, were given a field trip form to Studio Bell. We will be going to Studio Bell on the day of March 2nd, which is next Monday. This is a full day field trip. Students, parents, guardians, please ensure that you have your field trip forms handed in by Wednesday of this week. As well, you need to have the fee paid for this field trip through school cash only by this Friday, please. Please make sure that you have both the form and the fee paid in order for you to go. It's really, really a wonderful field trip experience, and I really, truly want everybody to experience this and go. So, if you need another form, please let me know Monday. Otherwise, let's get those forms and fees in as soon as possible, please. All right, grade 9 concert band. This week, we're going to continue working on our 3 festival pieces, which is going to be really awesome. We've got the DC Comics Superheroes piece. We've got Whale Warriors. And last but not least, we have Lullaby, the waltz for band, which is going to be really awesome. That festival, which is the Airdrie Rotary Festival of Performing Arts, that's going to be taking place at the end of March. Our schedule has not yet been solidified, so it'll either take place for school bands on March 24th or March 25th. That being said, I will not hand out the field trip form until we know exactly when we are going to go, so that you folks, students, parents, guardians, know exactly when we are going to go. Especially because there's 2 potential days and I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page for that one. Also, in concert band, we are going to be taking a look and continuing, to take a look at concert F major scale, third, and arpeggios. So please make sure, students, that you are practicing this week. Parents, guardians, it's really important that your young musicians are practicing at least 15 to 20 minutes per day to really hone these skills. Okay, the fundamentals of our concert band program comes from learning the notes, learning the instrument and how the notes are played, as well as learning the scales. It's really, really important. And specific chunks of our pieces should also be practiced. Lastly, a couple things. Sorry, grade 9 concert band. A couple more things. This week we're going to continue to take a look at our note identification. We're going to do a couple of mad minute note exercises. I'd like to do these every week if possible, just to keep students on top of their music theory knowledge in terms of notes and really solidifying that in your memories. Because reading sheet music, reading music in general is very rote, and it just simply requires students and musicians to memorize the notes themselves. So that we do not waste time in our concert band rehearsals on learning what the notes are. That should be done at home. All right, and lastly, we're going to continue working on our digital music independent projects. Some of these projects are done in small groups or pairs or individually if the students decided to do so. By this time, students should have all of their sound effects recorded. So students are to have five different types of unique and original sounds from the real world in a recorded fashion, so that they can then start to mix their actual real world piece using our digital music software. General music, 10, 20s, and 30s. So this week we're going to finish off the film Ray, our film study on Ray Charles, or Ray Charles Robinson if you want to go by his actual name. We have about 20 minutes left of the film, and then we're going to have a kind of a deeper in-class discussion regarding the film itself to kind of end off our study of Ray Charles and the influence he had in terms of his music. Especially since February is Black History Month, I think it's really important that we take a look at some of these really influential African American and African Canadian musicians on the music that we listen to today, especially when you look at Ray Charles and what he did for R&B and blues and how that really set up kind of the foundations and fundamentals of what we know today to be rock and roll. The basics of rock and roll come from what Ray Charles did and the popularity and how Ray Charles was able to brand and market himself. A lot of these things were then taken into the rock and roll world, especially at the beginnings of rock and roll in the 1950s, 1960s. Also, general music, 10, 20s, and 30s. You're also going to be taking a look at week 4's theory. So if you're doing level 1, you're going to be taking a look at rhythm and counting in time signatures, as well as rest values. There's also going to be an ear training part 2. For level 2 theory, you're going to be taking a look at key signatures using flats. So last week we were looking at sharps. This week you'll be looking at key signatures with flats. So taking the pitch and flattening it or decreasing the actual tone of the pitch, the pitch itself. If you're doing level 3 theory, you're going to be taking a look at your first ear training, which has to do with intervals, and you're going to be really focusing on minor intervals this week. General music students, you're also going to be introduced to your first specific music module, whether that be jazz appreciation, popular music, world music, careers in music, or Western classical music history. You're going to be starting whichever module you chose first. You'll be working on this for approximately 4 weeks until the next module will be given to you. Also, last thing for general music students, our Studio Bell trip is coming up at the beginning of April. You should now have the form. I believe I gave it to you just before our break. Please ensure that you are bringing that form back and paying the fees through school cash only, please. We can no longer accept checks or physical actual cash at the school. We just have to go through school cash now. So if you could please ensure that that is paid and that the forms are in before we go, that would be great. That's all I have in terms of school-related things. That being said, the last thing I would like to take a look at, or to let you know rather, is some of the concerts that are coming up. So this Tuesday, February 25th, we have Atmosphere, the Wherever North America tour. They're playing at 7 o'clock p.m. this Tuesday night at McEwen Hall, or Mac Hall, at the University of Calgary. On Wednesday, February 26th at 8 o'clock p.m., we have Steve Hackett, which is the Genesis Revisited tour, which actually sounds really, really amazing. They are going to be playing at the Southern Alberta Jubilee Auditorium, again, this Wednesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Last two things, this Friday at 7:30 p.m., at the Burt Church Live Theatre, we have Jazz Affair Wishes. So take a musical journey to a world of desire and imagination. Jazz Affair has curated a concert filled with wishes, dreams, and fantasies with rich and original arrangements of well-known melodies. Get ready for an a cappella evening of love, pleasure, and freedom beyond errors and borders. That's the Burt Church Live Theatre Jazz Music Series. It's really, really good. They put on a concert every couple of weeks, and this week is all about wishes. The last thing is we have Alan Doyle, who's playing at the Jubilee on Friday, February 28th at 8 o'clock p.m. Alan Doyle being one of the more famous musicians on our docket for this week. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have in store for you. Thank you so very, very much for listening, and we'll catch up with you in about a week's time. Adios for now.
All right, everybody, will you finish getting set up? I'm going to hand out a new piece of music. This is the best day ever. First. Second. This looks way too easy. Oh, geez, this looks really hard. Better put this in a safe place where I won't lose it. New music. And I lost it.